We're delighted to have each and every one of you here. Thank you for coming. The fact that many of you come a long way reminds us that what we do is important, and what you do is important. And we appreciate our leaders and our key people. That's you. And like Tim says, you are Project Hope. Our goal tonight, it's really moving. Our goal tonight is to communicate valuable information and to provide you with some tools, inform us of updates, and to inspire us to continue to learn and stretch ourselves and grow. The night before last, I was in Fort Smith, Arkansas, and I asked a very capable young man if he would lead a small specialized team to Haiti this summer. And his response was, got a look on his face and said, well, that's way out of my comfort zone. And I shared with him something that someone I value shared with me a few years ago when I used those very words. And that was, that's where the magic happens. And he's going to go to Haiti. But we get the opportunity to help people out of the comfort zone so God can draw them closer to himself and begin a process of stretching and growing that we've all experienced, many of us through short-term missions originally, to be more of the people that he created us to be as he continues to move his purposes forward. So last year, we had a great year in a number of ways, and as we all know, God continues to find favor on his mission of Project Hope. We had more than one team leader that expressed to us that they felt like their team wanted to work a little bit harder out on the job side, and they felt like our staff kind of slowed them down just a bit so that there'd be plenty of work for their teams at the end of the season. And so based on that, coupled with the need and the fact that the mayor is always asking Kim for more, we committed to 100 homes in Nicaragua this year. And if you think about that, what a privilege to get to be a part of impacting 100 families and all that goes with that, which we all know about, in addition to all the other ministries. So we already got a start on it, had a team January 2nd, and a good start. And speaking of that, on January 2nd, we had our first official team to Haiti at the new Hope Central in Haiti, and also a team, Suzanne Leonard was shepherding and herding 40-plus people to Nicaragua that very day as well. So the airport was bustling on January 2nd with Project Hope people. It's pretty exciting. So we're going to plug some people in, and Eric Reeder is a busy family man and active in his church, and EMT, paramedic.
Just saying, right?
Just saying. A lot of extra work.
Assistant chief in the fire department, I believe, and just wears a lot of hats, but he finds time to plug into Project Hope in a big way. And he's been leading a team based out of H.O.P.E, Missouri for the last few years, and they're really, lives are being changed on that team. So we've asked Eric to share. He's real passionate about getting the team involved in fundraising for the project. And so to help us all, since we've got it, I know God makes this happen every year, but he expects us to do our part as well. So he's going to give us some good ideas and creative ideas on what their team is doing to help in fundraising. Eric?
Okay. Well, thank you for allowing me to speak. Actually, the real reason I'm so good at fundraising was when I was with the Himes team, he told me if we didn't do the fundraising, I had to pay it myself.
Every year, y'all.
Well, he told me, I'm going to do some fundraising. So here's just a sample list of kind of what we're doing in Chillicothe. Now we have 5 different churches from around our area that participate with us. So we have some other outside interest or other churches involved, but the Santa 5K is something we come up with. Actually, one of my teenagers came up with it a few years ago. I think we've had 3 now, and it simply is just a Saturday morning event. You come dressed up in your Santa outfit and you run a 5K. It's just a fun event. We provide breakfast as well for the participants. The main fundraising for this comes from our sponsors. We usually get 10 or 12 sponsors at $200 a piece, and we put their advertising on the back of the t-shirts. Every participant gets a t-shirt. This hasn't been 20 or 200 people running. This has been 25 to 30 people running, but the sponsors is where we're making the money and the fundraising with this. And it's about a 3-hour event. And also, we do breakfast with it. A lot of people maybe don't want to participate in the run, but they'll still come in and make a donation for breakfast. So other than, I think 2 years ago, it was minus 4 degrees the morning we did it. Other than that, it's been a really, really good event for us. And actually, one of our sponsors donates medals. It's a jewelry store, and they'll donate medals so that each participant, gets a t-shirt and a medal. So that's just one thing we do. Like I said, it's about a 3-hour event. It's not an all-day deal. Another one that we are doing, this is actually one that we have coming up, June the 5th of this year. We're fortunate our church has an empty lot right across the street from our main door. So we are going to build a Nicaragua house on that empty lot. We're doing that on April the 30th. And then we have actually received permission to close down the street. And we're just going to have an outdoor concert, barbecue. We've got silent auction items that are coming in, allow people to do silent auction items. So our local church, which is the Rock Worship Service, is kind of our contemporary service. They're going to play. And then we have a gospel group in town, actually. The guy that sings in lives right behind me. It's called Glory Road, a very popular gospel group. So we're just going to have an outdoor event, bring your lawn chairs, sit out under the stars, silent auction, barbecue, and tour our Nicaragua house that we're actually building that will be on the lot, as well as we're going to have a big sign on it. You can see the bottom here is the Block Buddy program. This is something that we've just started, and if you read it, our goal is to get 200 people to allow us to automatically withdraw. I know Debbie, sorry Debbie, you don't like this, but $10 a month. She would rather be 20 or 25, and so would I. But if we can minimum get 200 people at $10 a month to allow an automatic withdrawal out of their bank account, that generates $24,000 a year for houses. Who doesn't have $10 a month to come out of your account? You don't have to write a check. You don't have to do anything. Just sign up. Project H.O.P.E will take it out for you. All right. Right now, I believe she said we're at $282 a month, which is.
It's about $200 a month right now.
We're just getting this off the ground. And so on the June 5th, this is really going to be our push, is to try to get those 200 people to sign up for $20 or $25 a month per Debbie, but $10 at the minimum. And then, our goal really is to get this sustaining our building, our construction, and then we can use our fundraisers, the 5K, the other things we're doing to support Taylor's house, to support the pastoral training center we're wanting to build, to support, Project H.O.P.E. So self-sustaining of the building project through this program, the other fundraisers then can support the other programs. That's what our hope is. So, like I said, we're just getting started on this, just started in February, and we've got 10 or so people signed up. Another thing we do is our community has a community-wide garage sale. I mean, we're a fairly small community, 10,000 people, but we just ask our church members, hey, anything you got in the basement you want to get rid of or in the garage, bring it in. And we honestly just fill up our Family Life Center with garage sale items. And with the community-wide garage sale, the newspaper puts a big map in the newspaper with a dot where all the garage sales are located. We honestly do not price anything. You take what you want, it's all going for missions to Nicaragua. And what we found is people, it's for a mission trip, they'll give you $20 for a book, where if you priced it $1, they would give you $1. And so that's what we found. Now, occasionally you'll have that person that will come in and take a bag full of stuff. and leave you $5 or something, but, that's fine. But, honestly, it's a $3,000 or $4,000 event that doesn't take but one evening to set up and then just sit there for 6 hours a couple of days. I think the biggest misconception in fundraising for this is people think it takes a lot of time, a lot of effort. One of our churches just did a little pancake breakfast last Saturday, and they raised $1,000 in 2 hours selling pancakes. I mean, it doesn't take a lot of time. And I think people think that well, I just don't have time to do fundraising, and none of these events take over 2 or 3 hours to do. So that's kind of some of the stuff we're doing that we've had success with. I'm really hoping this takes off, is what I'm really hoping. I mean, like I said, our goal is 200, if we settle for 3 or 4 or 500. And we're hoping that by having that actual Nicaragua house, it will generate community interest. Just not people in our churches, but it will be people that drive by, what's that all about? And we're going to have our contact information on the sign as well. So that's kind of what we're doing. Questions about any of that, or? Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
Thank you. Youth, right? Guys, we're talking about that, wasn't he? Eric believes, as we do, that we've been blessed to be a blessing, really. And he doesn't mind asking people to help. So, and we all know it's a good cause. Right now, we look forward to hearing from Jeff and Ashley on some important team leader logistics information and other important communication.
Hello. I feel like Jeff and I always get the exciting stuff. This time they actually put us at the front, so that way the boring stuff is over and then you get to hear all the inspirational COVID stuff. So the first thing that I wanted to bring to your attention is we did a staff contact sheet on everybody's table, and it just kind of listed all of us. We've grown. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but there used to just be a couple of us here in the office, and now there's a lot of us, and God's been awesome, blessing us with some great people to work with. So we listed that all out with our emails and kind of a little short job description of what we all do. So that way, if you're like, who do I need to call about this, you can just refer back to that sheet. So you find that handy. The other thing is, you guys used to email me everything, your itinerary and your working list, your insurance and all that, but we've switched that over and Jamie is now taking that on. And so I'm going to email everybody a spreadsheet that you fill out, and if you just fill out that spreadsheet, it will have you send it to Jamie, she'll pull your t-shirts, she'll order your insurance, she'll know your flight arrival and everything, so we don't have a bunch of different things that you have to send in, other than it'll just be that spreadsheet and then your rooming list. And Jamie would really like that 3 weeks prior to your trip, so that way she can get the information down to the staff in Nicaragua.
Wanted to talk a few minutes. How many of you remember the first mission trip that you were on? You know exactly. And that changed your life, didn't it? Or else you wouldn't be here. No? One of the most important things that you know that we do each day is our cabana time, because it does. Mission trips does change lives. Not only those that we go minister to, but the ones that go. And that's the most incredible thing, that it changes our hearts and our lives, that we go back and we serve our churches and find ways to get involved and be a part of ministry. And so the cabana time is, as you know, is just really, really important time. And so one of the things that we get back on our comment cards, and it's just a plug for our comment card and stuff like that, make sure that you're collecting those, getting those filled out and stuff like that, because we really do look at those and want to make sure that we're doing the best that we can when we put these trips together. And so, but one of the things we get back always every year is our cabana time, that a lot of times after the people have been working all day in the heat, they've been sweating, they've been working hard, and they're tired after the first, second, third day, that those cabana times could run a little long sometimes. And so they get disengaged and you lose them. And so just want to remember, just as you're preparing those, as you're talking to your speaker, to the one that's doing the teaching and stuff like that, just make sure that it's purposeful, and make sure that it's focused, and that you can do a lot in about under an hour, 45 minutes, and get the point. Just make sure that that time doesn't drag on and you're losing people. And so if so that's just one of the biggest things that we get back on our comment cards. A lot of times they're just way too long. And so as you're preparing and as you're talking to your leader and stuff like that, that your worship and your teaching and your sharing and all that kind of stuff, make sure that it's timely and that it's not being drawn out. And so that can be done real purposeful or real meaningful in a compact time as well. So just make sure you're aware of that. So is that, Tom and Kim, is that good?
If you go an hour, you went too long.
So
You're too nice. I get the phone call.
So anyway, again, we realize it's so important, and so it's not something that that you just gloss over and it's just part of your day. It's a huge part of your day, and it changes hearts and changes lives, and allows the men and women and people that go on the trip to process what God is doing, and being able to take that re-entry back home and be able to walk with what God's doing in their heart and changing their lives. So really important. Still me? One of the other things is as you're working with your leader, most all of you are leaders, one of the things we're seeing is that a lot of team members are going directly and communicating with our staff in Nicaragua that aren't team leaders, but they're participants. And they're promising or asking about doing this or doing that and things like that. Try to discourage that. That puts our Nicaragua staff, Tammy and Travis and everybody else, Eduardo, in different unusual situation to have to answer about helping prepare a schedule and stuff like that should flow through the team leader itself. So make sure that you guys keep an eye on our staff is doing a really, really good job of making sure that they're directing that back through the office here and through the team leader and things like that. But just make sure that that not skirting around you as a team leader and making decisions for the team. And so it's working through the team leader. And the team leader, you're working through either the office here or with the staff that's down there. So.
And then kind of going along with that, we're going to email everybody a list of the staff and their responsibilities down there, kind of like what we have here for the stateside staff, so that way you'll know who the appropriate people are. It's, some of it's kind of obvious. If it's children's, it's Eduardo, women's, Tammy, but there's a few other things that we've changed up a little bit, so that way you guys will know who the appropriate people are.
I want to talk about our fun day this year. Who's been there down there already? One of the greatest things that you've done on any of the trips is what I haven't been yet, but I heard it's really, really great. It's something new that we're doing this year. The free day this year is going to Crater Lake. It's up by Messiah, and we'll be doing some swimming. But with that, there's some again, as a team leader, make sure that you have the eyes of watching your team, making sure that they're being safe and doing things that are safe, that's keeping them safe from not getting hurt. And Travis will help you with that and reiterate some of the things that you need to be, some guidelines and instructions on keeping the team safe as they do that. But from my understanding, very clear lake and very beautiful setting, very beautiful surroundings, and then they're able to jump off different levels of decks. And so one of the things is that you cannot dive off the top deck, okay, and no diving head first. So just a couple things, just making sure that your team is staying within the correct area, that they're not swimming out too far, but they're staying within a certain area, a safe area that will be outlined to you. And I know you may not remember this, but Travis will kind of walk that through you, our staff will walk that through you, with you as you guys get ready to go that day. But great things. I'm excited about being a part of that this year, but it's where we're going to eat lunch, and it's a resort type area. And so just make sure you're keeping the eyes watching the team, making sure everyone is staying safe and they're not jumping off the high deck. So, what's that? Olympic deck.
Is that there in Calgary?
Yeah, it's like down.
Bottom of the top.
That's what I've been told. Another thing that we're kind of excited about. Do you wanna-
Yeah, where's it?
Oh, it's right. Sorry. This was an idea that actually came from David Patterson about having kind of a supply cabinet type of thing. We're still kind of working out all the details, but for the team leader, we do know that whatever storage it's in, it's going to be in-house too. That way it's not going to be in the office or in the library where other people can get to it. It'll just be for you guys. It'll be labeled correctly. So
Pens.
we've got pens.
Scissors. Duct tape.
Duct tape's not in there, but you will have duct tape. And zip ties.
Zip ties. Sharpies.
Extra name badges.
Extra name badges. Paper. Sorry.
Notebooks, more Sharpies.
We'll be adding some more stuff to this.
Yeah, if you guys have any ideas on things that you're like, that would be really handy to have, just send Jeff or me an email and we'll get that added to that. But it will be in-house too.
Yeah, our goal is, we know a lot of times you can just walk around and spend a lot of time trying to find something, so we want a centralized place for you to go where you'll be able to find supplies. Now, it's really important that if you use something, that you take it back for the leader that's coming after you. So make sure that we have, those things in there for them.
Yeah, maybe we'll have like a
So,
checklist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other thing, your devotionals and your comment cards will also be in that same area. So we decided not to send them down with you this year, but go ahead and have them down there. And so your devotionals and your comment cards will be with the supply closet and things like that in house too. So.
And like Jeff said earlier, on those comment cards, please, please, please make sure you hand those out Thursday, Friday, just whenever, and get them back. Not just hand them out, get them back. Then bring them back here and give them to Jamie, because we have a thing on there if people want to donate money, if they want to volunteer, and then all the, if there's anything that we need to improve on. So it's got a lot of good information that we want to make sure we get back here. And then we want to make sure if they do want to volunteer, if they do want to donate money, that we contact them while they're still, got their heart there, and not, a month or so later when they're kind of getting back into the groove of things. So it's just important. We also use the email addresses that we get off of that to send out any of our newsletters, any email, things like that. So it's important to have those for that too. So I'll kind of transition into that. Jeff and I have been working really hard on social media stuff and trying to post a lot on Facebook. We know not everybody's on Facebook. We also have a Twitter account that we're kind of trying to keep up with. But another thing, a big change that we made is instead of doing the newsletters that we mailed out, the paper versions, instead of doing those twice a year, we actually are just going to do those once at the end of the year and just kind of do a recap. And so we're doing monthly e-newsletters. That way we can kind of post and let people know what's going on a more regular basis and be more timely about it.
So if you're not getting those email newsletters, make sure that you let us know and we'll get your email on there. And then we just found that, trying to get you as much information about what's going on in the ministry as quickly as we can. And so instead of waiting 6 months, you can get that monthly, keep up with what's going on. The other cool thing is Facebook. How many of you are on Facebook? Just curious. Okay, a lot. Really, guys, that's a great, easy, free way for us to share what God's doing. We really, between the teams that's going, there is something happening every day of what God is doing here in Project Hope, whether in Haiti or Nicaragua, with the boys. There's just so much stuff happening. And so we try daily, every couple days, even with Tammy doing stuff, we try to put something fresh daily on the Facebook page. We have almost 3,000 likes on Facebook. If you could help us with that, if you could just invite other people on your friends to like our page, that gets us out even more. And the other cool thing is a couple things. The solar power radios that we did, we put that, Steve's going to talk about that in a minute. That and the boys coming, when we post that, we had over 7,000 people reached through those two things alone. And so just a great way to get the word out of what God's doing through Project Hope. And if you could help us out with that, just invite people, just share that with people. That we have the email newsletter and we have the Facebook page that we try to keep up with fresh things on a daily basis. And so we're excited about that. We hope you're excited that you're able to keep caught up with what God's doing. So any ideas, just feel free to email us or give us a call.
Yeah, and share whatever we're posting, if it's exciting, if it's something about the boys, or just anything that we post. If you guys, feel free to share that with your.
I'm trying to learn more and more about Facebook. So if you know, I know there's a lot of people in here who know more than me. But if you actually share something, then that goes higher up on the Facebook analog news feed or whatever, and so it gets posted on other people's news feed. The more shares and the more likes and things like that. So if you can go in and comment or something, that raises up the level of the you know what I'm trying to say. It raises it up for Facebook for their
The whole world.
yeah, the whole world. That's all.
Wait, no, one more thing. Wait, Tom, sit back down. Another thing that we'll email out to you is the ministry opportunities and little ministry outings that your team members get to take. The only thing that I wanted to bring your attention to, I won't go over this a lot, but Women's Day, it was usually on a Tuesday. It's now on Wednesday, and it's changed up a bit. So it won't be the standard, go to House of Hope. There'll still be an opportunity to go to House of Hope. There'll still be an opportunity to go to the Cancer Center, but that's not going to be what the women do on Wednesdays. They have some other things, going to Taylor's house and going out to Center of Hope located in the dump, a few different things like that. So make sure you go over this when you get it in your email and go over it with your team when you start meeting with them. And we'll also send you the rooming list. There aren't as many, we don't have any of our female translators staying on base, so all the ladies' dorms are open. We just have 7 guys in the men's dorm, so we'll send that to you.
Any questions? Any thoughts? Any supplies that you think needs to be on there, let us know. So, we're here to serve you, so any ways that we can do that, please feel free to reach out to us.
Thank you.
You do?
I will.
Thank you guys for continuing to provide more tools for us. It's exciting, isn't it? And as Kathy Smith often says, and I like this, she says it takes a village. And it really is true. We have, you're not going to hear from Charlene, but Charlene is just does so much behind the scenes. You're not going to hear from Daryl tonight, but Daryl does so much behind the scenes. And you may not hear from Jamie tonight, but boy, it's and Lori and Chad, you'll hear from Chad, and Debbie you're going to hear from, but and a number of other people that really help to make all this work as we grow. So we appreciate each of them. On those comment cards, it's very important. I think we could do better, and some teams do very well, but it's really important. It's an important vehicle for us to kind of like David Patterson says, it's kind of a report card for us to let us know how we're doing. And we do get good suggestions on there. Many of them we've used and implemented and made things go smoother. And sometimes we found out about things that we needed to know about. And those comment cards are, I'm glad we're going to have them accessed, because sometimes team leaders will mean well, they're going to use them, but maybe they can't find them or we're out of them or something. So this is a great idea, it really is. And get those comment cards out there in their hands Thursday or Friday. Get them while they're under the ether, okay? And with the mission trip, and have them fill those out, and you'll get some honest feedback, and it's really refreshing, and it's exciting to hear what people have to say at that time of the week. It really, you can really sense the changed lives, and it's just we need to do better on that, and so we need your help with that. Right now, we're going to just share a 2-minute video.
For the first time when I started going to church, and I would walk in, and the pastor was like, he said, I want you to pray with your neighbor. And I'm like, my neighbor don't go to this church. I don't know. You want me to call my neighbor on the phone? That's creepy. I ain't gonna do that. Right, then they explained to me, right, your neighbor is a person sitting next to you. Listen, I'm brand new at this Christian stuff. No, I didn't even know you're supposed to pray out loud, let alone with this lady. I don't even know this lady. What am I supposed to pray about? Lord, help these bumps go down on this lady's face. I don't know what I'm supposed to pray about, right? She went first. She was praying all good. She must have been John the Baptist's little sister or something. She was like, Dear Heavenly Father, you said in your word in the 6th chapter, the third verse of the book of Matthew, the 601st word on page 1248. Lord, you said, but excellent search isn't everywhere. E is an excellent, K is a kingdom. You're the Alpha, Nisi, Jehovah Jireh, Jehovah Rapha. I'm thinking, man, she even knows his nicknames. Now it's my turn to pray, right? But I don't got the spiritual vocabulary to just, but I'm not going to let her all pray me. So I'm like, okay, God, first of all, you are good people. You know, you are good, Lord. You are good. You are good to the last drop. Lord, I just got to obey my thirst, Lord. You know, usually moms choose Jesus. So as the rocket's red glare, Lord, it gave proof to the night, Lord. I believe I can fly, amen.